All right, hello, and so for use in Europe only. It's kind of weird. Usually it's for use in Japan only. So I don't know what's up with this ROM. All right, hello and welcome back to Ashgabat Cat. So let's play that. Today we're taking a look at Batsugun. That's right. Finally, we've got a pretty sweet shoot 'em up. Now, that's not to say that Darius is not a sweet shoot 'em up. Darius is an alright, pretty mostly cool shoot 'em up. Oh my gosh. Alright, so I'm not sure if you are aware. Whoa. So first I was gonna go Gino, just because he's kind of a, I don't know, he's got like a nice spread shot. And then I saw what Iceman looked like, and I'm like, holy crap, I want me some of that. And then I messed up and chose the girl in between, because she is, well, I don't know, the average of the two, which is to say she's worse than either one. Oh my gosh, so this game, according to rumor, this was the prototype for Dodonpachi. I'm not sure if you know, but I believe Cave was formed from former Toaplan members. And so again, they were working on games sort of like Batsugun, which are sort of the forerunners of the bullet hell genre. Now, of course, it's not really bullet hell, although looking at the enemy shots, I mean, they are starting to make more and more complicated patterns. I mean, you play Armed Police Batrider, and it's like they're just randomly shooting bullets at you. There's not much to say there. Oh, cool, you can hold down your shot, and then you let the bullets do the talking, not your fingers, which is nice sometimes. I mean, we don't quite have the Cave typical technique where if you hold down shot, then you kind of slow down and your shot fundamentally changes. That was in Dodonpachi. I guess they had not gotten around to that yet. But the idea of having like a giant, all-consuming laser, I mean, that's pretty sweet. Like, well, first off, the visuals look absolutely amazing. I mean, there's no way to kind of get past that. But even more than that, your ship feels powerful. Like, previously in all other shoot-em-ups, it's like you're shooting like it's this little stupid pea shooter, and oh my gosh, I almost threaded the needle though. You can tell it's not a bullet hell game because it doesn't hold anything back. Like it shoots a lot of shots at you, but it doesn't like slow them down per se. That's impossible to dodge. I don't know why I went into the middle of that tornado of shots and expected to make it out alive. It's like, no, that one is just no coming back. You'll never get anywhere with me at this level. What? You'll never get anywhere with me at this level. What is that supposed to mean? Is she like saying she's on the level or something and that she's gonna beat everyone who she comes across? But anyway, we can see like sort of the genesis of the bullet hell genre. Oh, sweet, finally, now we get to be Iceman. Oh, level up. Oh, I see. Oh, Iceman does have, okay, so if you just tap, then you get this nice spread shot. And if you hold down, then you get a nice concentrated burst of fire, making it feel most like the blue ship from Dodonpachi. I don't think he was the default choice, but he was ultimately the best choice. That frigging helicopter can go suck it. Like, the helicopter's whole deal was he had two little options on the side that let you kind of take care of, like, they would move and change facing as you moved, but, like, they weren't terribly strong, so why even have them? Wow. And then the stages are nice, short, little romps. Enjoyable, easy, nothing bad. Woo. That was actually impressive. Well, until then. But I was doing alright. Alright, let's see how Green Man goes for things. Wow. Like, Green Man, his shot is impressive, and it does fill the screen with green. But, like, let's think about this critically for a second here. He's out here filling the screen with green, and it's like, but that means you can't see the shots, or at least it's a bit harder to, like, focus on the shots, because, like, they don't stand out against the background as much as they do. Is this stage 2, or is this, yeah, robot bosses, Striker 1945, eat your heart out, although they kind of pioneered the whole transforming, what the heck? Okay, Iceman is my fave. Bay for life. Wow. This is not, wow. Okay, remember when I said this is not bullet hell and the patterns weren't fully forged? You know what? This satisfies all of my criterion for bullet hell, and then some. In fact, this is almost like a little bit too much hell for me. This is like bullet super hell, and so this is like bullet Dante's Inferno level 9 hell. Hell. That's how much hell they are packing in this game. I actually legitimately don't even know how I'm supposed to do the crossback to get through that pattern. Like, you essentially have to thread the needle while simultaneously dodging like 1,000 other shots at you. And ultimately, I guess that's why this isn't bullet hell. This is like something far, far more devious. Because bullet hell, like, there's a pattern at least. Like, it's sort of intimidating, but there's meant to be some way you can approach it. But this, it's just the typical Toaplan. It's like, okay, bullets are coming at you. Dodge them, pal. I don't know if you can. I don't even know if you're supposed to, but they're coming at you. And it's like, well, I mean, I'll try, but what is this going on? Did he call him? He's like, I'm cool and nihil. Is he saying he's cool and nihilistic? I mean, your leather jacket says everything, but dang. Also, what was going on in the background? Is that a bunch of bee symbology? It's like maybe this game is a bit more like Donanpachi than I would have expected. Which is to say, fairly. Oh my gosh, not only do we get a screen-filling spread shot, but he also has homing shot. This guy is everything I aspire to be in life. Maybe I should buy a leather jacket and start calling myself something cool. Not Iceman, that's already taken. Maybe... would have to be something cool. What was that guy from Toaplan named? Wait, was it Iceman? I think it was. Well, actually, that provides some strong insight as to where they got the name from. Oh yeah, just that ubiquitous Neo-Zeong architecture coming in to play. Everybody's gotta have a Gundam. Including these bad guys. Wow, these popcorn enemies, we are just like blazing right through them. Which is completely acceptable because it's all about the bosses and their protracted battles. Oh my gosh, the bosses and their patterns, and it's like... Stage 3 boss, Mad Steel Darkness! Oh my gosh! Mad Steel Darkness! That's like some JoJo level naming right there. His name is like Mad Steel Darkness. Well, literally and figuratively, of course. Wow. And yet, somehow, I kind of get what they were going for. It's like, I think we're supposed to be fighting in a cave, and so he's like this awful mechanical creature that lurks in the deep. Oh my gosh, I was gonna say the pattern got a heck of a lot easier than the last boss, but nope, that one shot in my face had something to say about it. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. That's the best thing about these bullet hell games. It's like sometimes the bullets go really slow at you, and you'd think that would make it easier, but it just makes it psychologically a lot harder, because it's like, it's just taunting you. It's like, hey, I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you, and you're like, hey, stop it, you stupid sibling. They call me the Sky Hunter because I always get my prey. Oh my gosh, just walk around in the leather jacket spouting Iceman quotes. Oh my gosh. Unfortunately, it's not the 90s anymore, so that wouldn't be vis-a-vis cool. But it would be something. Hey, who says there's no luck in bullet hell games? There's not supposed to be, but there is sometimes. Wow, okay. One thing the bullet hell games kind of typically reward is kind of like constant motion. Because if you saw... If at any point in time I had stopped moving, I would have been completely destroyed. Alright, let's see if my opinion on Blue Guy has changed. Interestingly, it seems that I get to keep level 3, so that's nice. Now he just sends like a torrent of blue. So like, when he shoots, like a quarter of my screen is blue. And that's unbearable. Let's try Helicopter Girl again. I mean, she's not really a helicopter, but... she kind of fits in right, imagine the helicopter does in Donanpachi, which is to say, she's there, and nobody wants to play as her. Although, I guess, yeah, there's no helicopter guy in this game, which is good. Wow, she is surprisingly effective. Actually, she's more like the default Donanpachi ship that has, like, the super strong forward shot. Oh my gosh. And it's like, there's just so much to focus at, and the bullets are going a little too fast. And I think that's kind of what Dodonpachi got so right, and then what Cave kind of figured out is like, you don't always have to overwhelm them with bullet speed. Sometimes you can just overwhelm them with bullets amount. That's not to say Cave didn't have speed, but they kind of reserved it for their higher levels. Although in thinking about it, we are actually on like, what, level 4? I mean, I blinked and I missed it. This game goes by in a heartbeat. Then again, with like the bullets going so fast, it's like, I guess there has to be some sort of compensation. It's like, look man, this is a fast-paced game. We could only animate so much of it. It's kind of like a Studio Trigger game. It's like, we're gonna go hard and fast, but we're not necessarily gonna go long. Although Kill la Kill did run for 2 seasons, so who says it doesn't go long? Alright, I've strayed too long from the path of Iceman. And for that I must pay. Wow. This isn't even the boss. This is just like a sub-boss who's like kind of here to entertain us, I think? I actually was not terribly paying attention. Strange as it sounds, this is a nice game to kind of zen zone out to. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, those little medallions kind of show up in Dodonpachi again. Oh yeah, it just occurred to me, there's Donpachi and then there's Dodonpachi. But I mean, come on, why would you play a game that's like an inferior Dodonpachi? Like play Donpachi. Or Donpach, as the announcer may say. Although actually, if you want like a nice, good old style cave shoot 'em up, my bet is with Dangan Feveron. And I mean, it's not just the groovy attitude, but like the groovy attitude certainly helps. But it just kind of has like its own frantic mechanic where like enemies frequently drop these like little spaceship men, and then the more you collect in a row, the more your multiplier goes up. So basically the scoring mechanic is like incredibly easy. You could explain it to your kindergarten little brother. The deal is, it's really, really hard. Your kindergarten brother would never be able to get that in any of his lifetimes. I guess except for the lifetime in which he grows up to be Iceman, but who says alternate universes all have to be able to happen? Oh my gosh, I was so concentrated on getting the power-ups, I didn't even see what this guy's name was. I think it's Jupiter something? I'll call him Jumpin' Jupiter. That actually doesn't make any sense. Like, that's actually kind of lame for a boss name. Wow. I mean, I can't actually touch him, but at least I'm safe. Okay, wow. Jeez. Just fill the screen with nonsense, why don't you? What? Don't mind if I do. Oh my gosh. And the worst part is, you could probably teach a super robot to play this game, and they would do great. Alright, you know what? Since I can't necessarily demonstrate skill anyhow, I guess I'll just bomb spam. On one hand, it is fairly distasteful. On the other hand, I mean, look at this nonsense. How are you supposed to fight against this? Toaplan clearly did not care for this to be fair. They're just like, we just need to bait our arcade guys. Like, we need to make it as flashy as possible, give them 3 bombs of life. They get their 3 bombs of life, we get our 3/4, everybody's happy. Except for their parents. But who cares about them? This pattern, though, is actually manageable. Not, like, great, but manageable. Yeah, say what you will about later age shoot-em-ups, but they did kind of get this whole, like, you know, being fair aspect thing down. Because you play something like Radiant Silvergun, and, like, yes, you do have to approach every single scenario in the absolute right way, or else you are just going to get wrecked. But at the same time, there is in fact a right way that kind of semi-trivializes what it is you want to do. Whereas this game, it's like, I guess the only right thing to do is replace my brain with like some sort of cyborg robot brain. Oh, I should have known that was coming. I should have known there was no safety. But yeah, the only right thing to do seems to be replace your brain with a robot cyborg brain and just dodge everything. But even that, I feel like there are just so many impossible patterns just coming at you all of the time. So it's like, well, even that isn't a guarantee. Actually, oh my gosh, I remember when I was younger, and when the internet itself was younger, there is this picture, or there is this video of somebody playing Gradius, and they are just owning it. Like, they are just flying around, dodging around the shots, like just playing completely perfectly. And in the video description or video subtitles, they were saying it's like, I'm autistic, and this gives me superpowers in shooting games. And it's like, now that I'm older and wiser, I realize that it may have in fact just been a task, like a tool-assisted speedrun or something, where they can use save states and they slowed the game super down. But at the time, it was like immensely impressive. And I mean, I don't know, I feel like that video has always kind of inspired me. It's like, have you ever heard the stories of like these people who like are able to make impossible sounds on instruments because they heard it on the radio and they didn't realize it was an effect? They thought it was just something a person could naturally do on an instrument, so they were like, oh yeah, this of course has to be achievable, I'm just not being smart enough. When in reality, the person who made it is like, this is an effect, pal. It's like, it can't be done by a human. And then they do it, and they're like, holy crap, please teach me how to do that. Finally, the last base, but we can't afford to lose. Sick. Alright, the final battle. Although if I know anything about games, we'll fight the final... Ooh, piggies. Wiggle, 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 piggy, piggy. Hey, you gotta have fun with stuff every now and then, because you got enemies trying to kill you in the front, you got, like, time ticking in the back, you got quarters burning a hole in your pocket, and it's like, you gotta make time for little piggies. They gotta sustain you. Besides, if Cave's gonna break into puzzle games, it's like they're not gonna make it puzzle games based on their ships. Although, I can totally imagine Konami being crazy enough to make, like, Vic Viper in a series of versus puzzle games. I'm actually a little bit disappointed that they never did that. Oh my, what a trap. Yeah, I always like these little medallions that, like, Dodonpachi had, where you had to collect them, and it's like, every time you do it, you're just like, this is so obviously a trap. And it's like, yeah, that's the point, but the point is you eventually memorize the enemy shot patterns, like, to such an extent that you can just kind of zoom around and do it without thinking. And it's like, yeah, I kind of respect that. Wow, I gotta hand it to this game. Nobody is a bad choice. I mean, the first person is a subpar choice for many reasons, but nobody is an out-and-out bad choice. Oh man. This has a lot of very pretty sprite work, which is being absolutely obliterated by YouTube's 12 megabits per second cap. But, hey, you can imagine what it's like. Well, you know, maybe you should just, like, download and play this game yourself. Well, okay. You should download and play a game yourself. I would recommend Dodonpachi. I would not necessarily recommend this game. Batsugun is nice, but Batsugun is kind of like the giant ladder. It's like, have you heard the Isaac Newton quote? It's like, everything I've achieved, it's only been because I've been standing on the backs of giants. Well, this is one of those giants, and Dodonpachi is standing on its back. It's also standing on the back of Donpachi, but again, like, this game is like abstract prequel Dodonpachi, whereas Donpachi is like explicitly a prequel that's Donpachi but less good. And it's like, okay, fine. This game at least is a bit different. It has a bit more heart, bit different heart. Wow, I want all those P's, but I don't want any of those shots. Yeah, mind your P's and Q's. That'd be an interesting concept for a shooting game. It's like they shoot P's, and then you gotta collect Q's. And it's like, hey, mind your P's and Q's. I said that backwards. They should shoot Q's, and you collect P's. It could be called Grammar Shooter. I'd say I'm gonna go patent that idea tomorrow, but that's kind of a silly idea. Not a bad idea, but a silly idea. Grammar Shooter. It'd be like Grammar Bullet Hell Shoot 'em Up. And then all the bosses could shoot puns at you. That's only half bad an idea, actually. Oh wow. So apparently if she gets leveled up enough, which of course we'll lose immediately because you gotta die. It's just, this is the quarter tax. Wow. I have died like more times in this one single stage than I have in like the entire rest of the game, huh? So it's like, if you want to get your conclusion, it's like you are darn well going to pay for it. Stage 5 Ground of the Garaxy. Alright. What the heck is a ground of the... Are those glowing eyes, like at the top, supposed to be his eyes? Or is it just two weirdly placed lights? Because right now I'm getting a Steam Man from Laputa Valley of the Sky. No, that's combining two Ghibli names, huh? Laputa Castle in the Sky. Right. And then Nausicaa Valley of the Wind. Is that actually right? Nausicaa of the... Anyhow, well, on one hand, this is a cheap final boss, possibly with 2 or more forms. On the other hand, I have bombs. Well, I had bombs, and I'm sure I'll die, and then I'll get new bombs. But until then, I can pretend like I'm good at this game. Boom! Yeah, I mean, it's the final battle. It's like, how else could it have ended except for this? Alright, now we're in stage 2. I feel like I'm more justified in just kind of dealing with it, because it's like, if I'm not suffering, will I really remember this tomorrow? Wow, I'm doing intensely good. Yes! That's what shooting games are all about. Doing intensely good, and then you feel good. And then they kill you, and then it's like, you're back on Earth. You were Icarus, flying high in the sky. You knew what it was like to be a bird, and then harsh reality comes in. It's like, your wings are made of wax. You are not really a bird. And you're like, you know what? I'm gonna dream it. I'm gonna believe it. And then, well, you get to dream it. Just in the afterlife. Wow. Oh yeah, check out that sweet bonus I get for not being a bomb user. All stages clear. Congratulations. That's it? That was it? That was the final boss? As you saw, I was like styling all over him. You know, modulo some... Heh, I finished as Iceman. Heck yes. Wow, that was really close. It seems this country will enjoy peace again. There's so many countries around the world waiting for me. So, it's about time that I move on. I'm Iceman. Well, that was a bad time to... I'm pretty sure it really just sounds like the Fonz or something, but... You gotta try every now and again. Iceman. An inspiration the world over. I should just make Iceman the thumbnail. Actually, check out the city in the background. I mean, I'm really getting some Esperade vibes, actually, from the city alone. But... so that was Batsugun. Now, I'd say don't play it, but, like, it's only been, like, what, 25 minutes, and I'm already down with it? And, I mean, I used a few number of credits, but, like, it wasn't an exorbitant amount of credits. And I will admit, I think it was that first level that was especially bad, with, like, the bad patterns and the fast bullets. Because I think as time went on, then things got a little bit more, like, semi-slower bullets and, like, more intense patterns. And it became more about, like, pattern solving, pattern recognition, and pattern domination, I guess? Yoshida 2 Sakai the Third. If that wasn't a Lupin the Third reference, I would be a little bit more weirded out, but... Thank you for playing. Presented by Toaplan. Yeah, Toaplan. Oh! Man, it's been so long since I've entered my name as a sign of glory. Usually it's a sign of shame and an early death. But yeah, Toaplan. You play a Toaplan shooter, you know you're getting a few special things. You're getting a, all in all, well-made shooter, which, I mean, gonna be honest, you can't always count on that. Well, okay. Games this age or earlier, you can't always count on the fact that they're well-made. But Toaplan? No. Toaplan's gonna give you a good time. You can count on the bullets being, like, distinctly visible against the background, which is not something you can always say about games that aren't necessarily set in space. Because I think one of the things, why are things set in space? Well, okay, one, it's easier to animate spaceships. Let's get that out of the way. But two, like, your bullets are contrasted with black. And so that means you make your bullets white, and it's like, okay, fairly easy. But okay, check out this beach level. Did we play through this beach level? Wow, this game was just a blur. But anyway, like, because the shots are so ridiculously bright, you can actually see them. And so yeah, Toaplan, you're gonna see it. Third Toaplan characteristic, the shots are going to come at you too fast. I mean, it wouldn't be a Toaplan game if you could beat it in 1 credit, right? Of course, I'm pretty sure you could search YouTube and there are like 1,000 people beating this game in 1 credit, but that's crazy. That's like so far beyond crazy. Although, I mean, I guess if you had limited money, it's like that's probably the most efficient way to experience this game. Because, I mean, a lot of games had a thing where it's like, okay, you could just credit feed until the end, and I mean, you get bombs, so it's like getting to the end is even guaranteed. It's not like a fighting game where you get to the end, you're fighting like Rugal or something, and Rugal just beats you with, like every one of Rugal's attacks just has more priority than your attacks. And it's like, how do you beat this guy? Short answer, you don't. Although I guess now that I think about it, King of Fighters, if you did die, then it did let you choose your bonus, and one of your bonuses could be like boss at 3rd HP. I mean, that doesn't always guarantee a victory, but it at least gets you closer, right? But you play this game and you can put in more credits, and then you just get more bombs. So it's like, if you want to think about it, it's just a bomb tax. And then you keep feeding in credits, you can eventually make it to the end of the game. But if you feed in 1 credit and you play as far as you can, because that first level is so relatively easy, then it's like, okay, you get like a fair bit of game time for your money. But then, like, you die, and it's like, okay, I'll repeat the process. But as you do that, I mean, you're a human, you're going to learn. That's just kind of what we do. And so you're going to get further and further and further until next thing you know, you're 1 credit clearing the game, then you play blind, and you're still beating the game, and you're just like, what do I do with my life? And then you post a video on YouTube, and they're like, hey, this is fake, you're clearly a robot, and you're just like, no, I'm a real person. But because cameras haven't been invented yet, or webcams haven't been invented yet, then they don't really believe you. And so you can't actually post a video of yourself playing, or you try, and it's just never the same. And then you run out of quarters, and I guess the story doesn't end on a happy note. But at least you 1 credit cleared Batsugun in this hypothetical story, so would you take eternal poverty to be able to 1 credit clear Batsugun? I can't immediately say that that's a good deal, but I can't say that that's a bad deal either. Alright, well that was Batsugun, the genesis of the bullet hell genre, and depending on how you actually define the bullet hell genre, it either is the beginning of bullet hell, or it is the direct precursor to bullet hell. But on that note, we beat the game, we saw everything there was to see, we destroyed everything there was to destroy, so this cat's got a scat.